First of all, this would not be possible as individuals. I know it's kind of Oscar cliche, just like the Oscars last night of me, to start out by thanking God and people for this, but I would like to thank God and people for this. God for turning out not to be like my invisible friend Cal when I was age 7 through 9, and people just for simply turning out. I mean, Alistair, you've seen it, just the volunteer time and talent and drive and passion that we've seen from people coming together in this project. It's unbelievable.
Absolutely. It has been overwhelming.
Indeed.
Well, to my immediate right, you just heard his voice, is Alistair Sled, formerly of Detroit, Michigan. I've known him since 2008 in Grand Rapids, and that makes about 7 years now, brother.
About 7 years, yeah.
Indeed. Anyway, this man keeps me laughing and is always positive and encouraging in the true spirit of Christ. Not the religious spirit of humanity. Oh, no. Speaking of religious spirit, what was that Pentecostal cookie story that you told me about? You had to sell cookies or something for the church or something like that.
Oh, yeah. It was kind of like profit-driven for the church. It was at a moment when I was kind of down and out, and my misery was more or less exploited.
Indeed. And you had to sell these to be good religious.
I had to sell them, and I had to meet a certain quota in order to be accepted.
Love it. Anyways, we are here to completely penetrate through the wall of religion, kind of like Matrix style. Did you ever see that movie, Matrix? What about you, Richard? Did you see Matrix?
Oh, yeah, I absolutely have.
It's an awesome
seen
movie.
all of them. It's awesome.
It is. All three of them. They're awesome. So if you know the movie, you'll understand that the Smiths, they're all called Smiths, they need to be held accountable. And that's what we're going to do on the show. We're holding the Smiths accountable, Matrix style. So I want to just call out some people in particular. We're going to title the show Gratitude because that's what we're feeling. Just incredible gratitude for a particular group of individuals that have come together to make this thing possible. What about Abraham from Abraham's Furniture? I personally have never met someone like this. We're going to have him on the show at some point. We have to. He's such an interesting guy.
So gracious.
We've got to have him on the show. And he's interesting, too. He's going to bring a lot to the show. Anyways, he's a towering 6'5", and his wife's name is Sarah. And yes, that is Abraham and Sarah, like you might have heard in the Old Testament. And, by the way, his voice sounds just like God. Have you heard it? I mean,
very, very commanding.
Yes, it is. I want to do everything that he's saying right away when I hear his voice. But he is the kindest man with the most supportive wife. Every time we pull up at the studio, it really doesn't matter what time of day we get here, there he is working on something.
Absolutely.
He's electrical by trade, but he's doing everything for us. It doesn't matter. We were in at 9 o'clock last night just to do a demo show, and there was Abraham working on the electrical box out front. So what a guy. What a guy. And we really appreciate him and his wife, Sarah. He works tirelessly on our behalf. We joke that he's a majority shareholder of the company here, but he probably should be. I don't know.
Yes, absolutely.
We'll have to talk to our board about that.
And I think that the downtown area of St. Petersburg is bustling and thriving, and they have welcomed us with open arms, and we look forward to just socializing and just being able to chill with this community.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, Abraham's been really welcoming to us. He actually owns like a whole block down here, so he's got a number of tenants. And he almost feels like he's been a staff member lately just with all of his work. But actually, he's our landlord in this rented space. So what a strange but very cool relationship that we have with this guy. So thank you, Abraham. Okay, let's go to Darren. Darren, also from Detroit, Michigan, as I found out.
Yes.
He has done a magnificent job building this thing.
Very skilled. Very highly skilled. Craftsmanship is very good.
Yes.
And we've been pleased with his work. Can't complain.
You've actually had kind of a photographic chronicle of when we first started. We just rented really kind of a rundown space, nothing to it. There was a different kind of graffiti on the walls. Of course, we have Religion Kills behind us here, but Just really an unkempt condition when we came in. And you've got all the pictures just showing the progression that we've had from start to finish. What an amazing! I mean, there's been just so many different phases that you've captured with your photography.
A beautiful transformation.
So Darren, he is from Detroit, Michigan as well. So Detroit, Michigan. We're all actually from kind of Grand Rapids, Michigan, Rockford, Michigan. So we've invaded Florida now. Now Darren said we had helped him out at a critical time in his life, and I appreciated him sharing that with us. But I'll be damned if he didn't do the same thing for us. Really, I mean, this was a critical time for our mission, our ministry, our shock therapy radio show. And when you think about it, this whole thing started February 1st or 2nd, and it is 20 or so days later, and it's done. And that was starting from scratch.
Radio broadcasting studio just erected from nothing.
Absolutely. I mean, literally from nothing, ex nihilo, from Hebrew, from nothing something. And that's exactly what we witnessed right here. So he's just now launching his kind of handyman construction business. He told me that we're his first customer, so we're very proud first customers. And when I say we are Grace Changes Everything Ministries. It's a corporation, a nonprofit corporation based in Clearwater, Florida, and we are operating in St. Petersburg, Florida right now from our studio. We also will have a presence very shortly